Hello and welcome to the Falcon, a footy podcast. I'm your host, Clarky.
It's me, Cassie.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Jess.
And that's right, listeners. Can you tell me, is this a beer or a soft drink? Answer at the end of the show.
Whoa, you got to listen to the whole show if you want to find out.
Whoa, is that not the fifth quarter?
Well, you know what? It may as well be now. I can cut between those things. That's fine. Editing's easy. I don't know what anyone talks about. Welcome to round 3. It's in the books. The proper round 3. None of that fake round 4 opening round nonsense. I'm very happy this week, guys.
Tell us why you're so happy.
Very different set of Clarks to last week, I think. Jess and I can both say.
It's been a real roller coaster so far, and we're only at round 3.
And look, it was a bit touch and go there during the game. I was about to tweet, oh, geez, I wonder if they're going to let us talk about this game this week, and didn't press post at the time because something came up. And then when I saw the finishing score, I was like, lucky I didn't press send on that tweet, or I would have looked rather silly.
It would have been iconic, and it's great of us to be able to use the same alternating show titles for this week and next week, where we're going back to flag Dees this week, and then next
2.0
week will be, you were saying.
Yeah.
Because I think we're playing Gold Coast this week, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Chris, how did you fare through the bye? Was this a good week of neutral football for you?
No, it's fucking shit. I hate that we're having a bye in round 3. Well, we're having a bye in every fucking round so far. But it's annoying, and I wanted to watch us continue our winning ways, but no, now I had to wait an extra week to watch us absolutely destroy Essendon. Could have already seen it.
I love that, like, just get it over with. And I feel like maybe Brad Scott's saying the same thing. just get it over with.
The whole season, he's like, it's only round 3.
Well, Nate Caddy just got ruled out. I'm wondering if he's like deliberately banged his head against the wall to cause concussion. He's like, oh, I can't play. Oh, well.
Oh, no.
I feel like if there was an option, it would just be like an injury list where just like Nate Caddy, parentheses, too sad.
Nate Caddy anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like, look, it's easy to punch down, guys. I do feel bad for the players more so than anything else, for the ones that are really grinding, because it feels like they've grinded into a brick wall.
I actually had a Facebook memory pop up yesterday from 7 years ago, and it was me with my eldest son, who at the time would have been just over 12 months old. And it was a picture of us, and I was watching the football on my phone, and the caption said, showing Lachlan why you should never support Essendon. And I was like, 7 years later,
Still tracks.
Still hits. Yeah.
Still good content.
Which is very sad. It's very sad.
Oh.
Great for him, though, because he's a Bulldog supporter. So
Yeah.
Things are going well.
Going well.
Couple of headlines that are outside of the football games this week that we want to touch on, and I feel like it's appropriate for the Falcon here to say that, hey, Lee Risswick, like, we support you wholeheartedly. He has come out as the first gay man to gay AFL player. He is an ex-Brisbane Lions player and played almost 300 games in the Sandful.
Yeah, 226 for North Adelaide.
Yeah.
That's close enough
crazy.
to 300.
Yeah, round it up.
I'm going to round up.
Yeah, that's good. I think
That's a lot of football.
It's pretty upsetting still to, when somebody posts this announcement on Twitter and all the responses are, who cares? Literally no one cares. Slow news week. And it's like, actually, it might not matter to you in your sphere, but this news matters to a lot of people. And I reached out to a few friends of mine in the LGBTQIA plus community and said, like, what does this news mean to you? And it really is important. I had a friend who was like, I was a little gay kid and I always thought sport wasn't for me because there weren't any role models in the sports that I like to watch. And who knows, maybe I would have gotten more involved as a kid in sports and activities if I had people to look up to. So it's got a huge effect. And for those people that just say, who cares? Well, screw you. There are a lot of people who cares, and this is important too.
I think it's a real position of privilege to say who cares, like in a really awful way, to be like, oh well, I've never experienced that adversity, so who gives a shit? It's like, okay, do you want to live a day in the life of a person who this is actually like really monumental for? Because you'd have a completely different perspective. And like, how lovely for you that you've never faced that at all, and you've never looked at playing a sport and thought, that's not for me. I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me if anyone finds out who I really am. Like, it's just, I really hate
And-
that.
And the fact that people say, oh, he only played one game for AFL, it doesn't count. I mean, it definitely still counts. And I think it just shows how unsafe it still is in the AFL world for no current players or big names to come out and, you know, tell the world who they are actually. So that's a bit sad as well.
This is so important to the people who voicing the fact that it's important to them because they don't feel safe to not understand what it's like to experience, like to live in that safety and to not have to worry about the next thing that you're going to say is something that people, especially in an age where social media is designed, like it wants you to be mad and it wants you to engage in a negative way. It's really easy to fall into that. So definitely sitting here going, this is fantastic for the future inclusivity of our game because it takes the strong people to say it. And then for the rest of us, our job is to be good humans and just
And also, it's one more AFL game than I've ever played. So, for anyone saying it's only one game of AFL, how many games of AFL have you played?
Thank you so much, Jess, for giving me that out because it's really hard to get an out from a super heartfelt moment where we talk about how much we love inclusivity. And
I've got a good segue to get into our next topic, though.
Yeah, please, Cass, take the reins. Let me
in
switch seats.
In more good news for the LGBTQIA plus community, they've just announced the act for the 2020s. What year is this? 2026 AFL Grand Final. Kylie Minogue is performing in the pre-show for the Grand Final this year.
Australia's sweetheart herself.
Yeah,
Or
I
is
think
that
that'll be
Delta
a good
Goodrem?
Oh, they'd be battling it out.
It's still got to be Kylie.
It's still got to be Kylie.
Delta will just appear anyway and do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because a few years ago when Robbie Williams performed, everyone thought Kylie was going to, you know, just appear and sing the duet
because
with
they did one song together.
Delta did instead.
Yeah, that one.
I was going to say, didn't Delta do that?
Yeah, the other sweetheart. Yeah.
Delta is just the domestic Australia-based Kylie Minogue.
Do you find it interesting that
Kylie lives in England, right?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. Do you find it interesting that they're going like pop act and then like old school, what do you call Queen rock, I guess? And then like another pop act and then rap and hip hop and now another pop act. Like they're just kind of going, well, what do you want? What do you want? To try and appease to everyone?
Well,
Everyone's going to complain about something.
It is quite funny that the rumors went from probably 4 to 6 weeks ago. It was, it's the Foo Fighters. All of the journos and media people were like, yeah, it's almost locked in. It's going to be Foo Fighters. And then all of a sudden the AFL were like, no, Kylie Minogue. It was just like, I was kind of like, okay, like I'm down for this, but it was such a random twist.
What a jump. Yeah.
I feel like it's anybody. There's an early cycle that you got to jump on. Maybe we should try and look for it next year, guys. The first episodes of the Falcon will be us dedicated to picking the act for the grand final, so that everyone's let down when they announce Vance Joy as the headline for 2077. Yeah, Temper Trap. Hey, there we go.
Maybe our goal for next year can be that we start the rumor of who is going to be the AFL Grand Final.
Well, that's the thing. Whenever you hear the rumor, it is the act. I mean, I didn't hear Foo Fighters, but I heard Kylie before it was announced. So someone obviously leaks it to test.
I think we need
to see if
receive.
everyone's upset or not.
Yeah, I think we need to leak it next year extra early, and
Who do you want,
aim
Chris?
should be our aim should be to get that rumor on SEN or something.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Reported by Caroline Wilson. That's our goal.
Okay, cool. We've buried this at the start of the 2026 season, so we've got so much time to plan for next year.
No one's going to remember this.
By the time we're going to be superstars next year, and people won't go back and listen to these episodes. They'll be out of vogue, so nobody will be able to hear our plans. I think Kylie's a great selection.
Mm-hmm.
Heaps of songs
Good to have
that
an Aussie.
everybody knows. She's technically an Aussie and she's international. So,
Mm.
you know, there's very genuinely like just nothing but hits that she can sing that everybody will know, regardless of whether you're like a big Kylie fan or not.
I wonder if she'll do Locomotion.
I was just thinking about Locomotion specifically. I think she has to, right? Legally.
I think it's like how Hanson have to sing Umbop, you know? Is that a reference that any of you understand?
Yes. I actually saw Hanson a few years ago at the zoo. Not like just walking around. They performed at the zoo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, not in an enclosure, right?
No. They performed. They're on a stage and everything. It was fantastic.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think my initial reaction to Kylie being announced was I was more just surprised that she hasn't performed it before. I was like, surely she's performed a grand final already, but no.
Maybe Robbie will come out and sing Kids with her.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe Delta will come out and do it.
It's
Delta
Guy
does
Sebastian.
Kylie, and then she does the Robbie parts. I love that. Yeah, I think this is a net positive, right? I actually like this more than Katy Perry.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, Cass is not happy about that.
I was
Cass
just
looks devastated that we
Oh
like
no,
different
I'm
music.
just I was a Katy Perry fan for a very long time. Yeah.
Was.
Well, she's gone a bit weird, isn't she?
You didn't tell me that.
You know,
Katy
she's
were
not
no
she's not a
longer-
pop star anymore. She's an astronaut now. So
Yeah.
You just don't feel connected to her in the same way. But do you feel connected to your team, Cass? Because let's jump into the bias section of the podcast where we talk
Let's do
about how
it.
good our teams are. Fremantle smashed Richmond by 60 points?
yeah.
103-43. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but it's so funny. We beat them by 60, and I'm like, God, look at those 25 behinds. It could have been so much more. It could have been so much more. Imagine if half.
Did
My mum
somebody say that was
texted
a
me and went,
record?
yeah, it was their equal highest record. Yeah.
Right.
My mum texted and was like, imagine if half of those were goals. So we could have beaten them by 100 or something. Is that maths? Yeah, look, it wasn't the nicest game to watch. It was very scrappy. It was wet. Richmond made us look bad. When we play bad teams, we play bad. But we scored over 100, so you really can't complain. I guess I find things to complain about, but I'm not going to complain.
I find things to complain about, but I'm not really going to complain.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
complaining.
It was well, we were watching it, and I was like, oh my God, this can't be the same Freo that we played. Like, they were neck and neck with Richmond until half time. And I was like, oh my God, what if Richmond beat them? What the hell? Like, what were we doing last week? And then it just took off after half time. They obviously got an absolute flogging in the rooms. No fun, of course, at half time. And that was the Freo that beat us, which was actually satisfying, though, to watch, because if you'd lost to Richmond, it would have made me even more mad about what happened last week.
Like that would be so Fremantle, though, to lose to Richmond, to lose an unlosable game. It's just what we do. But yeah, it was, we were chatting about Josh Tracy last week. He was incredible this week. He marked everything. When they interviewed him after the game, he said, I practiced with a soapy wet ball quite a bit this week to practice marking and sticking those hands. That's good. I guess some of them just didn't practice kicking. As Josh and Longmuir mentioned in his press conference afterwards, that he said, I think maybe we need to sack the goal kicking coach. And then had a little giggle because that's him. So even he doesn't want him to be the coach anymore, guys. It's not just me.
It was so funny seeing that moment as well, where he's like, yeah, I guess we'll sack the goal kicking coach.
Crickets.
Oh, that's me, by the way.
Because everyone suddenly went really seriously. Oh, oh God.
I haven't seen that moment, but I just had this mental image of Justin Longmuir saying, "Oh, I think we need to sack the goal kicking coach," and then just doing the little trying not to laugh, where the side of his lips kind of just shake a little bit, That's how I imagine it happening.
Is he just trying to step away and they won't let him? First he asked to.
It does make it seem
only
like
have a
he's a bit
year
of a
contract.
prisoner.
Yeah.
He's just dropping
Someone under the
hints.
desk.
Please just let him quit Fremantle. Please. Just let Justin free. This game was almost not, though.
Ooh, yeah, the cyclone.
The cyclone. Cyclone weather watch. And then it was kind of just a normal game in rain. Was it even raining?
Without the roof rocker because it was too windy for him to be up there before the game.
So
Yeah, is it?
imagine the roof rocker just gets blown off the roof.
Like something out of Wizard of Oz. Just
It is funny that, I mean, we literally had the incident last year where a cyclone made a game not able to happen. And then they had this whole thing of, oh shit, where do we replay that game? Where do we put that game so it can play? We'll put it right at the end of the year. Do you think they tried to come up with a contingency plan for in case something like this might possibly happen again?
No,
Nope.
instead they filled that slot at the end of the year instead, so they
With
can't
another
replace
round.
it. Yeah.
And like, instead of having, I don't know, one round of buys in the middle of the year, they've got 13 weeks. Is it, how many weeks of buys are there? And yeah, jeez. Because it almost happened again in Brisbane this year at the start with opening round. The same thing almost happened again with, not Brisbane, with Gold Coast. And where would they have played again? So stupid.
I never get over the fact that the AFL are just dumb. Surely they would just mark it off as like a draw, right, and give each team 2 points.
And that would be classic
Oh.
Freo as well, to get 2 points
Yeah.
against Richmond.
As a neutral supporter watching Freo this year, and as someone who follows along with stats constantly, mainly for fantasy football reasons, I really wish Freo would just be upfront and tell us which one of Sarong and Brayshaw is going to dominate each week. Because at no point this year have they both had a good game together. It's
No.
been one gets 40 touches and the other one gets 14 every week, but they just keep alternating. And that's really frustrating. So Freo, just let us know.
There was a point last year when, was it last year or the year before, when Alex Pearce had his broken arm and he was out for weeks, and Brayshaw and Sarong used to share the captaincy. Maybe they're sharing the dominant games the same way. So see if you can track it.
Well, they have like a Space Jam football that's got like what? It's just got loads of footballs. Like it's the skills of Nat 5, and they just pass it back and forward.
Back and
before
forth.
the game.
This is the special stuff. Nat 5 special stuff.
The secret stuff.
Let's hope it doesn't have the injuries of Nat 5. In it. The one person who's not sharing the special stuff is Shea Bolton. Ridiculous few weeks. I don't know. Has he had a change in role or something?
I think he's playing more in the mid, right? Is that that's my
Well,
understanding?
he had 32 last week, 33 this week. He's just absolutely dominating.
I think he's.
I knew he was going to have a good
this.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's because of Young being out.
As part of that core midfield group, because that would make a lot of sense to me, as like him, the next guy up, to be like that. It seems to be in vogue at the moment to have small, snappy forward kind of as like your little X factor midfielder, and Shea Bolton kind of fits that mold, like the Cozzy Pickett kind of. Everyone's looking for that kind of guy, and
And when you've got like Dudley, Tracy, and Amos, and I guess Patrick Voss down forward, you need the kind of crafty guy to get the ball down there. I mean, he was always going to play a fun game against Richmond, just to really dig the knife in. But yeah, some of the highlights are really fun to watch.
Speaking of highlights, can we talk about Melbourne now? Is Melbourne back on the menu, boys?
Talk about Melbourne.
Hey, Melbourne came back from 43 points down to beat Carlton by 23 points in, I believe the fourth quarter was 8-1, after Melbourne only scored a single goal in the first half.
We were at the shops and I looked at my phone and I was like, what? Wait, what?
I was at band practice, and just as we were about to start, I checked, and it was, I think, almost the end of the first quarter, and it was like 46-6.
1.
Something like that.
We didn't score a goal in the first quarter, Chris. It was devastating.
It might have been the start of the second quarter, because I think you just kicked one goal, and I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be one of those games. And then at the end of band practice, I looked, and Melbourne were down by 1 goal, and I was like, oh, okay. And there was like 16 minutes left. And then you somehow won by 23.
Yeah, the last quarter was insane. We left our house to go to my mum's house, and I was like, I'm not watching this. This is shit. This is just like another Freo. I actually can't sit here and just watch. Because like I said to Josh in the car, I was like, look, at least if we were trying, and like it just wasn't clicking, or like, you could see the kind of effort that was there, but it was just a shit show. And everything was getting fumbled, like nothing was working. I was going, surely, like something's got to change. This is ridiculous. And then I turned it off because it was making me mad and we had to go anyway. Josh has the stomach to just watch whatever's happening. So he was like commentating the game in the car. And I'm going, we haven't said goal yet. Like, I haven't heard any goals be kicked. This is diabolical. We get there. And when we finally turn it on, it's like the end of the third. And I was like, oh my God, I thought we'd be like 80 points down at this point, and we weren't. It was way closer. And then obviously it all picked up and we just absolutely annihilated them in the last quarter. I mean, I forgot that Carlton are shit after half time, so that probably would have motivated me to keep it on. But like, that was insane, that last quarter. Like, if we'd had that dominance through the whole game, it would have been ridiculous. But I
The
mean, I guess it says a lot to do that when you're that far down.
the Carlton halftime thing at this point has got to be psychological. Like, it's
Surely.
every game they dominate the first half and then just do nothing in the second half. Like, it needs to be studied, the drop off after halftime.
Yeah.
It's I'm a little bit upset because I don't even think that in this case it was a matter of Carlton being bad, because I thought their second half was still pretty good. Like, they managed to hold Melbourne back when they were coming for a long time, and they got some goals back to continue to maintain their lead. And then it was really only in the fourth quarter where Melbourne started to get a hold of that. And this seems to be the new Stephen King style of ball, right? Where the first quarter, definitely, like, only one behind feels putrid. But when I was watching it, it's Stephen King's game plan appears to be like, well, it doesn't matter how many goals they score, as long as we score more. So it's all about really trying for those 50-50 kicks that pay off and sometimes don't pay off. So there was a lot of poor decision making. There was a lot of poor kicks that were getting intercepted to the point where we were barely able to defend our own half. Obviously, when you're getting that many inside 50s against you, you can only stop, some of them. And then from then on, it was, Key obviously came out and gave them a talking to, and the effort was back, and then we slowly chipped away. So I was watching in the car from probably about just after halftime. I think it was with the third quarter. So when I started commentating to Jess, it was when the tide was starting to turn a bit. I was talking shit about Cozzy Pickett because I was kind of watching the game and the skills were poor across the ground. And I kind of watched, and I was like, I just wonder if I turned to Jess and I said, look, I love Cozzy Pickett. I think he's really good. I just wonder if he is really like the solution to our midfield that everybody kind of says he is. I was like, he's too dangerous and we're not scoring goals. Like, why isn't he doing that? And then next minute he's got, I think he maybe had four disposals at that point. And the next thing he's got 33 disposals and a goal, and basically set up most of the goals that ended up putting us back in the fray. So I was wrong. I am familiar with your game, Cozzy Picker, which makes it even worse that I was wrong. Yeah, I was really happy with that. Like, I wouldn't have even minded if we didn't win. The fact that we won was just absolutely gravy, because seeing those 50-50 switch from not coming off to, oh, everything was actually really working and we were able to get those scoring shots and put ourselves back in with a chance was much more encouraging than against the Freo game, where we kind of let you guys get ahead and then we broke even for essentially the rest of the game. Like, Freo are obviously in a much better position in consistency than Carlton, but I think don't downplay just how much effort went in from Melbourne's part to bring it back from the brink.
It's interesting that you say that, because I listened to the last 16 or so minutes while I was in the car driving home. And after the game, they spoke to Max Gawn. Obviously, he's 250th. Huge game, 25 disposals, 55 hitouts. Ridiculous.
So good.
But they spoke to him, I think, while he was still on the ground right after the game. And he actually said that in the second quarter, Melbourne felt like they were playing better. They just weren't scoring. And he said that was kind of the message at halftime, was stick to our game plan because we're the better team out there. It's just that they're hitting us on the rebound and we're just not scoring. And obviously it paid off in the second half, like, because that's essentially what they were saying, was what was the message at halftime that turned things around. And he said it was basically just that we were doing the right thing. It was just that the luck of the game wasn't going our way, and then happened to work out in the second half.
I really love Stephen King. Really happy that we've got him. He's got real dad energy. The way that you hear him talk to the playing group. I've just got a couple of quick points I want to make that I have in terms of notes of this game. One, my continued battle against whether or not Harrison Petty should be played in our team is ebbing and flowing because he's constantly like outbodied as a Melbourne defender. And I know that we don't have Stephen May, and Stephen May, obviously, whatever's going on there, we're better off without him. But yeah, missing Daniel Turner and then having Harrison Petty there is like he's not holding it down, and we need a better solution. I really regret that he was not traded to Adelaide.
I was going to say, remember when like Adelaide were going to offer up like
Tilthorpe? Yeah.
They were going to offer up everything for him.
Yep.
That was nuts.
Yep.
Mhm.
But, you know, that was then and this is now, right? Like that path doesn't lead us to the path that we're at now, which is a more fun Melbourne. The second thing I will say is Tom McDonald also in his 250th game. He is, without a doubt, one of my favourite Melbourne players. I really love, I've got a special connection with him as well because part of the reason that I got into Supercoach content was the first thing I ever wrote that got published on Jock Reynolds, the website, was just after he had, at the time, which was very good for him, he had a 55 goal season or something like that, or 50 plus goal season. And I was talking about him as a viable forward option in Supercoach, and I wrote an entire article about that, which has instantly spiraled into multiple friendship groups that has culminated in this podcast, right? Like he's almost instrumental in that journey of where I'm at now, but he's just also, like, he's such a workhorse. He's started off his career as a defender in one of the worst teams in the league, ends up winning a premiership where he kicked a goal after the siren. Like, yes, we already had one, but like that's a sort of a fairy tale for him. And then back
Did you?
now as...
Did you already have it one? Debatable.
Yeah, it's debatable.
It's blurry, hey, Chris.
It was definitely blurry when I was watching it. Got real blurry at the end there. But now back as a defender as well, I think people kind of expected him to be delisted, and then he's still kept on working at it, and I really love that. He was also one of the first Melbourne players to sign one of my badges that I take to the football.
Aw.
Yeah, and that's very nice. So congratulations
Awesome.
to Tom and to Max and to Paddy Cross, who in his debut game kicked his first game, and he actually is from around where we live. He was picked up in the SSP period, and he's not too far. His base of the suburb is not too far from us, so good on you, lad.
Don't dox yourself.
No, that's fine. Yeah, it's a big enough place. People will find it out. But speaking of places that aren't big enough for the both of us, the Cats returned from their bye and said to Adelaide, "Get stuffed. You're not worthy." Over at GMHB, they won by 8 points, and there's not really... Yeah, no, was that no good?
I just didn't know where it was going.
Sometimes I start a sentence and I don't know exactly where I'm going to finish it.
You get it. It's a little journey.
The Michael Scott approach to podcasting works for almost everybody with enough confidence. There's not much I think I really wanted to talk about in this game. I expected Geelong to win, and the 8-point margin kind of is neither here nor there. I think Geelong let it slip a little. Were they behind? I can't remember. This was so long ago. It's crazy having Thursday night football. I can't remember.
I was just looking at the worm, and
Yes.
Adelaide were in front for a little bit in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Right. Adelaide were constantly chasing them this game.
Yeah.
Now, the controversy to come out of this is there was a specific passage of play that resulted in a last touch out of bounds that, upon looking, came off the foot of Tom Atkins. And what Tom Atkins then did was, as the ball went out of bounds coming off his foot, he ran, picked up the ball as the Adelaide player was talking to the umpire going, hey, he was the last guy to touch it. And before any real decisions were made, Atkins has kicked the ball back to Geelong's forward line, and essentially that play resulted in a goal for Geelong and put them even further away from Adelaide, who were starting to catch up at that point. How do you guys feel about that? Like, because the real thing here is that he's kind of grabbed the ball and moved it on before anyone could really object. People are saying that, the ARC should have intervened. Apparently they have the power to intervene in the game to call the ball back, but they didn't. So where do we all sit on this? Is this okay? Like, is this the cheeky boy area, or...
It's very... I always could call him Andrew Keys. It's not Andrew Keys, it's Ben Keys. Yes, it's very Ben Key's Cheeky Boy, isn't it? It's a different way of just messing with the time frame a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe this was just karma getting Ben Keys back. Maybe you
Cheeky
The
shouldn't
world
do it
does
next
work.
time. The thing that I just found strange was when they kept saying that Ark has the power to intervene here. I just feel like how quickly are they going to do? Like, we've seen how long score reviews take. The last touch out of bounds, they kick it straight back in and it's off. Like, are they all of a sudden 2 minutes later going to say, "Oh no, hang on, we have to take it
Actually
back to the
coming back,
boundary
yeah.
line"? Yeah,
I feel like
Like-
there's enough time for them to go like, oh, hang on, like call that back, because it was a good 30 seconds of play before the Geelong goal, maybe a bit under that. But like obviously it was the next set of plays. Like I think they kicked it across the ground and then made a forward entry and it resulted in a Jack Martin goal. I don't know, for me, I don't know if they can intervene. I kind of felt like people were just saying that because they're like, well, they do it for score reviews and they call the ball back when they do score reviews. But I don't know, is this
But they
this
kind
is
of
just an
when that
this
happens,
is just an umpire
they
decision that was wrong, right? Like
yeah.
yeah.
sometimes that happens.
It's also, yes, they do score reviews, but, and correct me if I'm wrong, this may have changed this year, but from what I understand, they don't do it for behinds. They don't review behinds, which was the whole incident with the Ben Keys thing a few years ago where the umpire called it behind, said it hit the post even though it hadn't.
And controversy and Ben Keys are never too far apart, are they?
Yeah, maybe he's the issue.
Trade him.
So yeah, I don't know why we would assume that they would do it for out of bounds if they don't even do behinds. They only do goals. So
Yeah,
I feel like we've
interesting.
got a bit too much faith in the Ark.
I mean,
think
isn't
we're
that
too worried
there's a
about getting it
boundary
right.
umpire? Like, isn't that their job to sit and watch it?
Yeah.
Where was that?
Yeah.
Possibly.
He
I
was-
think so I was getting a lot of what was happening from the commentary box as well. Apparently the boundary umpire signaled it the wrong direction, possibly, is what. Either way, I think this is just an umpire decision that they got wrong. But what has come out of this game, or at least the AFL has come out and said that insufficient intent now will result in a last touch free kick. So the example that I saw specifically was, I believe, Jack Rewalt, was talking about it and using footage of Isaac Rankin sliding for a ball that was going out of bounds. It is now the onus of the player to try and swipe that ball back in bounds if they want it to be considered sort of like a sufficient attempt to keep it in. Otherwise, it will result in a last touch free kick.
Well, that's what we've seen so far with this new rule being introduced, is that every team has exploited it by, if a ball is about to go out and one of their teammates was one of the last ones who kicked it or handballed it, they run over and basically just punch it out so that it doesn't count. So, I mean, it's going to mitigate that, but I just hate the AFL implementing rules and then 4 weeks later going, oh, no, we're going to change that again.
That didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like this didn't play out how we wanted it to play out. People have found a loophole in our system. We're going to have to add some
What, the
addendums
AFL
now.
didn't think something through?
Can you believe it?
I don't even think it's that. I think it's like a case of, like a new video game comes out and it'd be like a game developer coming out and being like, whoa, all the players found these bugs and exploits in our games and make it easier for them to play, or so that they could get like undue reward. And you're like, well, of course they did. Like, of course the AFL, like, of course the players are going to try and find loopholes so that it ends up favorable for them to win the match. Like, that seems like the part that it's not unreasonable for them.
I reckon that's someone's job down at the club. Like, okay, this is the new rule. How do we get around this rule?
Oh, yeah,
Better for
100%.
us.
Loophole
Yeah.
guy.
Oh, for sure.
Jess, I can see you as a career as like a loophole guy.
Oh, I would love that. That is the shit that like keeps my fire burning.
If it's up there, like they would have to hold auditions, but they're like that. You know that extreme couponing show? I believe it's like
Extreme
American based.
couponing?
Yeah. Okay. So Chris, you're gonna love this. So they get these people, right, and these people they collect like talking like folders, like dossiers of coupons, and then the challenge is they have to go to a supermarket, do their these are like the kind of people that shop for like 3 months at a time. They use all the coupons and try to spend as little money as possible. Some of these people, Chris, end up getting money back for doing their shopping. Crazy
What the
stuff.
fuck?
Hell yeah. That's the life of baby. And with petrol the price that it is, Chris, this is what we have to resort to. Is now a good time to point out the Falcon does not honor coupons.
That sounds like the kind of show I'd watch, to be fair.
Yeah,
It's really good shit. It's
Good
like real anti-corporation shit.
if you talk about it long enough, Chris, your Instagram reels will give you some by the time you jump into bed tonight.
I'm sure they're
You know-
listening to us now.
Yeah, you know what I'd love a coupon for, though? A Jack Sinclair hat. And this is my transition to talk about St Kilda, because all of my notes relating to the St Kilda Brisbane game are barely about the game. I saw an Instagram reel from the St Kilda Media Club where they're like, just a guy making some hats, and it's Jack Sinclair, and he makes like proper full-on cowboy hats, like presses them on. There's like a whole
Yeah, when I
system. We have to,
saw-
like iron them properly, like crease them.
When I saw that in the notes, Jack Sinclair makes hats, I expected when I watched the video that it was going to be like paper hats or newspaper hats or something that he was making for everyone at the club. No, it's proper millinery.
Yeah,
He's doing
it's
proper-
crazy. He's doing like full on. Like I spent ages watching guys on TikTok doing that. I want the Jack Sinclair hat trilogy. Where he's just making hats for. Apparently, he'll only make you a hat at the club if you give him something.
So you got
So
to
he
pay the
doesn't
troll
do it for
toll.
free. Yeah, you got to pay the troll toll. Jess has lifted up a glass to cheers to that. How much would you pay for a Jack Sinclair hat, Jess?
Jack Sinclair would have to pay me for the hat as part of the trade-off. Like whatever I'm giving him would be worth more than the hat.
Maybe you can get a coupon.
It would be like extreme couponing. Like
Yeah.
he would owe me money at the end of it.
When I saw the note for this, I didn't know there was a video about it, so I was very confused. And I thought it was just something that was mentioned during the game, and I was like, I'm going to wait until we record to just find out what this is about. So now I'll go watch the
What?
video.
He's on the bench. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, look at him. Like Tom Daly on the side of a diving competition crocheting. Oh,
I
look
thought
at
he
him
was
just doing some
like
hats.
knitting. Yeah, I thought he was like knitting some beanies or something.
This is great to know that Chris thought that I had gone full BT.
Look at him.
Oh my
Never
God,
go
it's just
full
like-
BT.
Yeah, he's just talking about hats. What the hell is he doing? I'm just looking now. It was actually it was sponsored by Miller, so I didn't. That's kind of gross. But he like full on. He gets like the hat molds. He like you got to steam it to like crimp it into the right position, like full blown cowboy hats. Chris, this is gonna be great. Go and watch it.
Just to move this game along, do you blame me for thinking you'd gone BT when the two notes that you put there were Jack Sinclair makes hats, followed by Jared Berry looks like a raspberry?
Yeah. Okay. So the context of another one, right? Now, I love my wife very dearly. She is my favorite.
You're
person.
obligated to say that because I'm here.
Yes, and because of the rings. Don't forget the rings. I love my wife very dearly. Sometimes Jess hits me with something that she says
Oh,
so.
okay.
She says
Little
so-
pig behind the
Clip
car.
that.
sometimes Jess hits me with a line that she says so casually, like I meant to understand or know it. And this is one of those ways where we're watching the game and she's like, oh, that guy's fighting with Messiah. Like, what's going on there? Like, they're having a bit of like, that guy's fighting with him. I'm like, oh, who's that? And she's like, oh, I don't know, like number 7 or whatever, like whatever. And I looked up and I was like, Jared Berry. She's like, that's right. Because he looks like a raspberry. That's how I remember that name. Like, huh? Huh? Is this, did I miss this?
But he does. His haircut is like bobbly, like a raspberry, like a brown raspberry.
Oh, okay.
And every time I
now
look at
getcha.
him, I'm like, oh, he's a raspberry.
I thought
That's
you
how
meant
I
his.
remember he's Jared.
I thought you
Berry.
meant his face, and I was like, I don't see it.
yeah.
Now you
I
mentioned
looked
the
at
No,
him
hair.
it's
before
like
and was like,
if you look at him from the back, like when he was fighting with Naz and he took a swing at him, and I was like, oh, I know that hair. Who is that? And then Jared Berry, raspberry.
it's the name association like I do to remember
Yeah.
NBA basketball play.
They did actually
NBA
on
football.
the telecast. I think it was Ben Dixon who interviewed him after the game, and he actually kept referring to him as Strawberry. So I don't know if that's his nickname or if it was just Ben Dixon has decided to call him Strawberry, but there's something
Well,
there.
to be fair, if your surname's Berry, you can pretty much use any one of the berries except for one There's one that you definitely can't use.
Yeah.
But it's
Is it
but the rest
Snosbury?
of the, I'll let you sit with that one. Anyway, because once again, there's nothing to talk about in this game, so I think we'll acknowledge the other thing that that went on around St Kilda, which is Lance Collard, St Kilda player playing in the VFL, allegedly used a homophobic slur on field. He is adamant that he used the word maggot, which, look, we cannot confirm or deny. I think I speak for everyone here where our position at the Falcon is, if you said it, big fuckhead. If you didn't say it, you could have picked it. There's like 100 other offensive things you can say that aren't close to that word or any other slur.
Just call someone a dingus. Jeez.
Yeah, call them a chud. You'd be like, you chud. Call them something that sounds vaguely offensive and just move on with your life. But he is so adamant that he went home, flew back to Perth to look his mum in the eye and say, Mum, I did not do this. And I think that's really interesting in a way, because I appreciate the earnestness to go like, I had to look my mum in the eye and tell her I didn't do this. But also I wonder, does that really further your case? Does that are people really going, huh? Well, I guess that's
I mean,
it
depends on the mum. Like if he was Italian and he had to go home and tell his mother, then that's pretty bad.
Something tells me that Lance Collard is not Italian.
And
something tells me he's definitely an Australian.
Apparently last time he was in trouble, allegedly, his mum didn't seem to mind quite as much. But I find it interesting. I feel like perhaps it could be a new tribunal ruling. It's like you can have 3 weeks, or you have to go home and tell your mum what you did.
It's like the good guy ruling
For 3 weeks.
Oh, but the Charlie Cameron good guy. Oh, he's a good guy, so he got off. Now it's, well, let's call your mum as a witness, and this will decide if you get 3 or 4 weeks.
Nothing would haunt me more than to have to call my mum as a witness. I don't think I'd enjoy that. Anyway, look, I just thought that was interesting because, once again, this is all alleged. Our stance is, hey, slurs, don't use them, you big chud. Grow up. There's 1,000.
So it's a real lack of creativity, I find, as well. Like there are literally so many words that you can mash them together. You could make your own word up that is a horrible word to say to someone. Like literally pick anything else. Have a bit of imagination. Why do you have to resort to using slurs? It's real dumbass behavior.
Every time that something like this happens, whether it's a racial slur or a homophobic slur or any kind of slur, it came out that it was reported Lance Collard has been accused of using a homophobic slur, and my brain instantly goes, I wonder what they said. And then when that came out where they were like, he's adamant he called the person a maggot, I was like, now we know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
He used the mainline one. Look, speaking of dumb behaviour, moving on very quickly. Oh yeah, Brisbane won, by the way. St Kilda frauds. Suck shit. Speaking of dumb
Naz nearly got
behaviour.
his lights knocked out.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did a matrix dodge on Raspberry, took a swing at his shoulder, and he just like a boxer, just slid that punch so
He
so
felt
sternly
it
while
coming.
he was looking directly at an umpire as well.
He must have
He was looking.
heard
he
it.
wasn't even
Heard
looking.
the wind
Crazy.
blow.
They also,
Yeah.
Naz and Berry brought the jumper punch back. We haven't seen it for a while, but they both jumper punched each other, and then Naz jumper punched a little bit harder and actually gave away a free kick in the goal square.
Got him.
But yeah, nice to see the jumper punch come back.
Yeah. On all it cost them
liked
was
the
their entire salary cap.
I liked the who was it that absolutely bodied him afterwards? Came in swinging after the Berry took a shot at Nas, and then someone else came in and absolutely flattened Berry, and I was like, oof, I liked that. I don't know what about it I disliked that. I
Bring
can't remember
back
who
the
it was
biff.
now.
Bring back
Yeah.
the biff.
I'm just looking at it quickly. It is
number
Mitch
10.
Owens. Mitchito.
Mitch Owens.
That's it, Mitch. I did not expect it from Mitch. I was like,
I like
oh,
that.
okay.
He-
I like that. Stand up for your friend. That's good.
That's great. I love Jess being like, Michito's such a good boy. You seem like such a good boy. I did
He
not
is
think
a
you
good boy.
capable of violence. Anyway, hey, Tristan Sherry, dum. He wiped his own blood on Andrew McGrath's face and has been given 3 weeks for it.
Gross.
Disgusting.
Gross. Yuck. Don't do that. Why are you a dum? What? What? He said that he was getting... They were calling him a flopping cunt. They were calling him names, and he's like, "I'm gonna wipe blood on you."
Well, they're basically saying he was weak, and he turned around and said, "Look, how I'm not weak. I'm bleeding." And then, could have just shown him the blood on his hand, but no, in that moment, decided to smear it on McGrath's face.
There were
Yeah.
On
there were a
his
couple of
face
things
as well.
Yeah, there were a couple of things out of this. So when I read that quote from him, I think it was at the tribunal saying, "Oh, but they called me a flopping cunt." It just reminded me of like a little kid who's like punched his brother and then gotten in trouble and was like, "Oh, well, he said this." It's like, mate, it's a footy field. Of course they're going to call
Yeah.
you a flopping cunt. The other thing was that I can't remember who tweeted this. It got quite a few likes. I wish I could give credit, but I can't remember the username. Someone did their best attempt at trying to figure out lip read Tristan Sherry talking to the other North players at 3/4 time after it happened. And he like basically admits to them what he did, and he repeatedly says, "I'm fucked." So he knew what he did was wrong.
And look, and he did. He came out
Much
and
like
admitted
a 3-year-old who
like
punched
straight
his
away.
brother.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, I'm in so much trouble. I'm in so much trouble. That's
Like-
made me so mad.
That was the look on his face. That was the look on his face.
Alistair
So
Clark
don't
stomping
try.
down the
Shut up.
stairs. Oh no, he's coming. Oh shit, that's coming.
And you kind of do have to give the AFL credit where you can. This has never happened before, so they didn't have any kind of guidelines of what to do with it. But yeah, to give him 3 weeks, it kind of goes, okay, that's fucked, and nobody else should do this, or you will get 3 weeks.
Well, it kind of happened once in 2002, but it was Nathan Buckley, but he wiped his blood on Cameron Ling's jumper. So he was
Gross.
bleeding from the head, and he put his head on Ling's jumper like that and wiped it on his jumper. He got 1 week back then in 2002.
Which,
But
I
obviously,
mean, that's still gross,
yeah,
but preferable on a jumper than a face.
yeah, wiping it on the face was much worse. So I thought 3 was
Yeah.
reasonable.
So I guess 3 weeks, I mean, when they had nothing really to base it on besides that Nathan Buckley incident, 3 weeks, I guess it shows it's not quite as bad as a racial homophobic slur, which gets 4 to 6 at the moment. But then I guess it's worse than, I don't know, patting Harry Petty's head, worse than taunting someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I feel like that's a good... We're going to need a tier system of some kind to rank them. So, God.
The tribunal
Well,
must have like a pyramid of things. All right,
Yeah, I'm gonna
bad,
say, 'cause-
worse, do not do.
Guys, which tribunal offense would you say is S tier? Because I feel like
Is
the
that
worst...
what the 5th quarter is this week? That we're just going to rank things?
Okay, let's rank them.
We'll move away from this one. Tristan Sherry, don't do that. That's dumb stuff.
gross.
And hey, West Coast beat poor, but that lol. And legally we can't talk about West Coast.
Yeah, I don't want to. Thank you.
Suck shit, Port. We'll see if you're any good next week. Cass, you've prepared a 5th quarter this week.
I did. I thought we should share it around a bit, and I just prepared a little something for us. I went to a shopping centre today, not to dox myself, but I went to Northland Shopping Centre in Victoria and was walking around, and I was like, what shops would each of the AFL football clubs be? And so I have
what
come up with,
shops?
I've decided, actually, I just realised on my list I've missed one, so you guys can help me with that one.
And that's the groupthink one.
There's
Is
the group
this-
think, once it,
Is this based on
vibes.
vibes? Okay, I was going to say it's based
Yeah.
on current form or vibes?
Vibes only.
vibes.
Sometimes colours, but no,
Okay.
but mostly team vibes.
And now,
Um,
and so when you're talking about the store, not to qualify this too much, but is this like when you say, like when you walk into the store, how you feel? Is like that
Yeah.
how we're assessing vibes, or are you taking into account like customer service?
The vibes of the store and the vibes of the team have to match. How you feel about a team and how you feel about a store. And some of them are chains as well. The first one, I'll do it alphabetically. Adelaide. Adelaide is that store, Connor. Because to me, like Adelaide, like they seem well dressed, but they kind of seem a bit cheap. So that's Adelaide. They're Connor. To
well dressed
Brisbane.
but affordable.
Exactly, that's them. That's Ben Keys, right? To Brisbane. Brisbane, I've said a Kathmandu. They seem outdoorsy. They've all got tans because they're up north, and they probably all wear puffer jackets.
And they're durable.
That's it.
Now, not
Rub
to
in.
be a negative Nancy, are you taking notes on these, or is this a no notes situation where we?
Oh, you can give notes. Absolutely, you're welcome to give notes.
Why puffer jackets for Brisbane when they live in a state that is quite known for being warm, seasonably warm for a lot of the year?
When they come to Melbourne, they're not used to the cold.
They
here.
complain
They
all
need
the
their
time,
puffer
right?
jackets. Yeah.
Okay,
they
so
need
they
them
need
on
them.
the.
This is more of a mum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, guys, I
It's
know
something
you're flying to
I-
Victoria. Don't forget your puffer jackets.
We get your Kathmandu jacket. Next is Carlton. I mean, Carlton are just the Italian deli over by the food section.
Nice.
You know
No
what?
notes.
It's actually the friendliest comparison that you could have made.
Yeah, I was expecting much worse.
Yeah, I was thinking that half closed down $2 thrift shop.
That's what I was
that you're
thinking
like,
as well.
where do you still get all your stuff from? And does anyone shop here?
Yes, if you're in WA, they are red dot. But no, that doesn't mean anything to you Victorians, but our WA listeners will understand that.
Fake.
Collingwood. Collingwood are Foot Locker. No notes.
Black and
Oh
white.
yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's just black and white
It's very
stripes.
Yeah,
literal.
that makes
Okay.
sense.
Essendon, the reject shop.
Yep.
Yeah.
That checks out.
Okay,
But the
Freo.
reject shop's actually good now, though.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, no, it's good. Is it good?
Essendon or
Is it?
not?
It's name.
I like to think because I know exactly why Jess enjoys the reject shop, because they sometimes have English sweets for
Oh,
like
they
a
do.
reasonable price as well.
Yeah.
So I
But
feel like that's the
Essendon
equivalent.
don't.
Well, the English sweets are Zach Merritt, and then Zach Merritt going to Hawthorn is when you buy the English sweets and take them home to a nicer place.
And you
to
realise they're
live.
out of date.
Okay. Okay.
Freo are Lavisa. Now, for the male listeners or people that might not be aware, Lavisa is a jewellery store. So from the outside, it looks really nice and shiny and fancy. Looks like everything's got everything going. But when you dig a little deeper, you realise it's actually all plastic and stainless steel. It's not gold and silver. So it's a bit cheap and tacky. So that's my team.
It's also extremely chaotic.
Yeah.
Like I've been into a Lavisa many times with Jess, and nothing is ever where it's meant to be.
And once I had to once I went in because I needed clip-on lip ring for a costume, and I was like, "Do you have any fake jewelry?" And the lady was like, "There's some there, and there's some there, and there's some there." And it was like, why wouldn't they just all be together? I don't understand.
Like they cut open the box of like whatever, and then they just throw it at the wall and say whatever's there is there. It's $5
Yeah.
anyway.
and
see you later.
and it's like this is all 3 for $10, but this is $35 over here. I don't know. Anyway, that's Freo. Geelong is Cotton On. Gold Coast Suns. Gold Coast Suns I've done as Universal because that's kind of where all like the cool Gen Z kids go, I believe. And I think that's kind of what I think of as Gold Coast.
I like that
Yeah.
your lack of confidence of being like, this is where all the Gen Zs go. I
I
think
think. I'm a millennial. Who knows?
If I were a Gen Z, where would I go?
Where would I go?
where would I go?
And then-
6'7", 6'7".
GWS, on the other hand, they're JJs. So they like want to be cool and like they've got all their cool little memes, which is JJs has their fun meme shirts. If you want a random cool, want to be cool shirt, that's JJ. So that's GWS for me.
I'd now just assume that they're going there to buy their black skinny jeans.
That's
And
where they
that's
go to. Yeah.
That's all I ever
Um,
used to use JJ's for, was to buy black skinny jeans.
I bought my Fiero from Wicked t-shirt from JJ's, and I bought a Michael Scott t-shirt from there too. Very specific pop culture t-shirts. That's GWS. The Hawks, Hawks have done as EA Games. Is that the name of the shop? EA Games?
EB Games.
EB Games. EA Games is the
You
actual.
were one letter
yeah.
off.
EA Games is
Sports?
EA
It's
Sports.
in the game.
Yeah.
Makes the
yep.
Sims. Yes, it is. Okay.
Like,
EB
got it.
Games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who have I said that was? Hawks. Yeah, like it's with EB Games, it's like you go there for a reason, you want to get your new things, but it's a bit overwhelming and then sometimes you walk out with nothing, which is kind of what I think about the Hawks. I think they're just going to walk away with nothing this year.
Okay.
Wow.
This is just a hit list.
Yeah.
Could do what you got to do.
Drive-bys.
Melbourne? Yeah, Melbourne is Maya because
Yeah.
Maya's just kind of like the stalwart of the stores, of department stores. They've got everything you need. Everything's there. They will just always, they're a constant with Melbourne. Even when they're not doing great, they still win a lot of games for me, Melbourne. So I think they...
Much like Melbourne before Jim Steins, they're financially unviable.
And they've got great windows at Christmas. North Melbourne is typo because they're all
Yeah, okay.
young and
There's where I imagine
and-
Gen Alpha hangs out, says
the Gen Alphas hang out and they
no
like
one,
notebooks.
No one knows why it still exists.
Exactly. That's the other thing I said. Oh, that's still there? Port Adelaide, I've said a Target because you know how Target, like, you're like, oh, I'll go to Target to get that thing because it's slightly different to the other stores. But no, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same as Kmart. Nothing else is different, actually. And that's Port to me. They're just the same every year. And they're not
That's
as good
actually
as you think
really-
they are.
Yeah, that's actually really spot on because Port used to be different and now it's the same as all the bad
Mhm.
teams. And that was Target.
Richmond is the team I don't have one for.
Okay.
So we can come back to Richmond.
Have a
After
little
Richmond,
think.
have a little think. After Richmond State. So St Kilda I put as JB Hi-Fi. For JB Hi-Fi, to me, it has always been the same. Every time you walk into JB, it's the same. You got the cool guys who work there who are kind of aggressive and in your face when they serve you. And to me, that's like Jack Higgins and Jack Sinclair. They're kind of like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah," those little guys. And when you go to JB Hi-Fi, all the signs everywhere, what color are they? Either black and white or red and white. Black, white and red. Number 16, who's after Saints, is Sydney. Yeah, Sydney for me is seed heritage.
Oh. Over.
Fancy and too expensive. Yes.
Fancy too expensive.
Yeah.
Also fancy and too expensive. West Coast is Peter Alexander pajamas. Too expensive. Too
Oh.
fancy. Shut up and wear regular pajamas.
I expected a
And-
much bigger insult for West Coast.
Yeah, that's kind of...
To
That
me,
was
Great
tame.
Peter
That was tame.
Alexander is the insult.
I mean, not to play inside
And-
baseball, but I am wearing my Peter Alexander shirt.
Oh, so
bedtime shirts right
expensive.
now. They weren't
And
geared for
Western
my life.
Bulldogs. Western Bulldogs I've done as Kmart, not just because of the colour scheme that threw me into it, but like steady, got everything you need. You would go there first. So I think, and yeah, I just can't not like Kmart, and I can't not like Bulldogs.
Yeah, as much as you don't want to like them.
That's
Like,
where you
you
go.
actually, yeah,
Yeah, it might be
I
that
just
second team.
default straight back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
the people that
surprised
support
that
Kmart are crap as well. Like, it's a whole thing.
yeah, Western suburbs scum.
It was
what we
either
are.
that or Franco Cozzo furniture, but that's not at Northland Shopping Centre. So.
Surprised that so it was only shops at Northland. I'm surprised that no one was given not quite right.
I don't know what that
assumed-
store is. Is that a
Oh,
Victorian
okay.
chain?
Yeah,
Maybe that's
Google
Richmond.
Maybe that's Richmond.
Google NQR. So they sell things that have gone out of date, basically.
That is
They are-
Richmond.
aren't they yellow? Are they yellow and black?
I mean,
yellow, red,
yellow
and
and
black,
red.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Close,
Well.
close enough.
You know what? I'm glad that you limited it just to Northland as we look through. I don't think we've got any other better offers for Richmond. So, sorry, Richmond. Sucks to be you.
Not quite right.
Yeah, NQR. Is there one at Northland? Is that the rule that we're adhering to?
I mean, there wasn't. When I was walking around in my brain doing this list later, there was not an NQR.
Yeah, very good.
But that is
Thanks.
Richmond. They can be it.
Cass, that's perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
No worries.
I think that can be your homework this week, Cass. By next week, I want you to tell me your favorite thing about an NQR shop. You got to find some time,
Okay.
go and spend a lot of
Okay.
time in there. Just experience the highs and the lows of an NQR.
Okay, where are they? Let's see.
Mostly
That's my
lows.
home. That's
I was
my
going to say, I
homework.
don't know if there's many highs.
No,
Yeah.
look, when I first
limited
moved
highs.
here, I remember my mum being like, there's this whole shop and they just sell out of date shit and it's really cheap. It's amazing. And we used to go there every week. And now I look back on that and I'm like, oh my God, that was such a low point in my life. That was a real, oh my God.
Yeah, look, as that was also a part of my childhood, was like, we need to buy some groceries this week. Maybe we should head to NQR.
Oh, don't bring the mood down.
Yeah, hey, that's life, baby. My parents did the best they could, and they did a great job. Anyway,
I
thanks
think
for
that'll be
sharing
us
that.
this week with the price of petrol, to be honest.
That's it. Well, I think it's about time for us to wrap up. Thank you so much for listening, you beautiful, beautiful people. You can find us on Instagram and X at Falcon Footy Pod. You can also find us on your podcast platform of choice, which is where you're probably listening to us right now. But hey, while you got us, just go down to your review, go down to your rating section, give us a little 5 stars. You can write us a little review and say, hey, this is the best thing I've ever put in my ear since sliced bread, or whatever the saying is. I hear that a good review is worth 2 in the bush. Ain't that right, Chris?
Don't put sliced bread in your ear. It's a
Legally,
disclaimer.
Chris has to say that.
Disclaimer, yeah.
Disclaimer. You can find us all individually as well. Cass, where can people find you?
You can follow me at CassBadge.
Chris?
At Lowry_16.
Jess?
That's Funky Jess for 2 eyes.
Hey, Jess,
And-
thanks for following the Falcon on Twitter this week.
Thanks for following
so
me on Twitter
welcome.
this week.
Yeah, me too.
I actually, because of this, I was like, do you know what? I actually should probably go in and like revamp my Twitter a little bit, X, whatever it is, because it's been a while. And I went through and like reading everything. So now that it's actually worth mentioning on the podcast.
It must be really upsetting for you because I think the last time you used Twitter, it wasn't a red pill hellscape. So
That's what I
enjoy
was
that.
thinking. That must have been a horrible experience. Like, oh, I might revamp my Twitter, and then just looking at it and wanting to just throw your phone against the wall.
When it's not the football season,
Yeah.
I do not use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you open up X these days, and the first thing is there is like, Iran's hiding in Donald Trump's White House the whole time. Get him. Oh my God, the world's a terrible place, listeners. So go out and do something kind for someone that you care about this week, just like we'll do the kindness of another episode next week. Anyway, we'll see you then for round 4. Hey, did you guess if it was a beer or a soft drink? It was a Pepsi Max Strawberries and Cream. See you, listeners. This is the worst. This is the second worst bit we've ever done on the show. Love you. Goodbye.
The entire team at the Falcon Footy Pod would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians and cultures of the lands and seas on which we live and record this podcast. We pay our respects to all First Nations peoples, elders, and ancestors, and thank them for their continued connection and contribution to this country's national game.